Association of Financial Advisors of India. Knowledge Series in association with Resurgent India ICICI Bank presents a virtual seminar on handling follow-up and recovery of export receivables with required documentation. Moderator Mr. K. Gupta, Director, Resurgent India Limited. Mr. K. Gupta is the Director at Resurgent India Limited, specializing in corporate finance and management consultancy for SMEs as well as large corporations, handling substantial financial transactions. He also serves as a task force member for government MoUs and on the grievance committee at Power Finance Corporation. With a 36-year banking background and a tenure as General Manager at Central Bank of India, he holds degrees in economics and bank management. Key speakers: Mr. Gaurang Vaswada, trainer, ex-banker and partner, FEX Feen Associates LLP. Mr. Gaurang Vaswada is an ex-banker with 35 years of experience in international trade, finance, and foreign exchange. He has held various positions during his banking career, including that of Chief Dealer Forex and Head of International Division at erstwhile Bank of Rajasthan and as Branch Head, Compliance Manager and Subject Matter Expert, SME, Trade with ICICI Bank. At present, he is actively involved in training for trade and forex related subjects in and out of the banks and advising corporates in matters involving FEMA and RBI guidelines. He is also a resource person for the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, IIBF, and faculty for FEDAI. Mr. Bhavin Joshi, SME, Trade Finance, ICICI Bank. Working with ICICI Bank in Trade Finance Department and having 15 years of experience and currently holding position as Subject Matter Expert, SME, Trade Finance, total experience of 20 years and have done CMA and KEB, working with ICICI for last 3 years.
Good evening, friends. I am again your host K. Gupta. I am a Director of Association for Financial Advisor of India and also Director of Research in India. We welcome all the participants and our respected speakers on the program, Shri Baswada sir and Mr. Joshi from the ICICI Bank. The subject matter which we have chosen is of the very great importance. We are talking about the recovery of the receivable. Handling and follow-up recovery of export receivable with regard to documentation and what type of documents is required to get a recovery from the importer, or you can say when we are exporting some good from the exporters, because a third country where we have to recover the huge advance, when you sell the goods on credit, definitely it is duty to get the foreign exchange. You also know that foreign exchange play a very important role. For the financial year 24-25, total exports, you're talking about the merchandise and also service sector, grew by 6% in the first 9 months of the financial year, while the import grows by 6.9%. And foreign exchange reserve, when we are talking about, stood at US dollars 653.97 billion. That means the balance of payment play a very important role when you are importing or exporting. So this recovery mechanism is also playing very important role for that. It is also envisaged when we are finding out the data from the system that around 15% of cross-border payment fail because of the currency conversations, issue or incompatible payment method. And over 200 payments methods are used worldwide, adding another layer of complexity to the payment ecosystem. Payment failure cost business around US dollar 20.3 billion globally every year. So this is the most important issue here to discuss what type of a document you should have to secure the recovery. So my expert, Mr. Baswada sir, who has already done with us 11th program with the ICICI Bank, and under the banner of the associations, which most of you are the members also, and our entrepreneurs must be knowing that this is our 54th webinar under the series of the associations. And for the research in India, we already completed 237 webinars. And at present, we have got the registrations of more than 400 participants. Those are the entrepreneurs and our members. And from the ICICI Bank, which is holding with collaboration with the Research in India and the Association for Financial Advisors, we are holding these 12 webinars. So we are getting good feedback from you, entrepreneurs. I feel that today's webinar will also play an important role to have a documentation in respect of the recovery. So we were going to discuss with you, know your borrowers, understand credit risk, what type of the credit risks are there, and monitoring through, we are talking about the Indian custom electronic gateways, that is called ICE Gate. And we are also talking with you regarding the export data processing and monitoring system, that is EDPMS, that we are also going to discuss these abbreviations for that. And we are also going to discuss with you the RBI guidelines on handling and closure of the bill and payment. How should an exporter follow up with the unpaid export receivable? Recourse available for the recovery of export bills, handling short receipt or non-payment, then precaution on recovering the specs. These are the objects which we are going to discuss with you to make the participants aware of the assessing the credit risk when engaging with the buyer for the exporter from India, and to know the modality relating to documentation guidelines applicable in handling and delaying short or non-receipt of receivable. So we are going to discuss all aspects with you. So I will not take much time because experts are with us. Mr. Gaurang Baswada, who is a trainer, ex-banker, and partner in Fixed Pin Associate LLP, will be with you to discuss in details what we are talking about the agenda points. If any queries from your side, if any questions from your side, please put on your chat box. We will try to reply it. And also requesting that please send your feedback after this webinar so that it can encourage the participants, it can encourage our speakers and the bank to give you every month. As ICICI, we have planned from the last 11 or 12 months. Every month we are holding one webinar. Any subject which you like, so we are with you. With this word, I invite Shri Gaurang sir to please give your thoughts on the subject. Mr. Gaurang, please.
Thank you, Gupta sir, for the introduction and putting the things in right perspective for the issues in cross-border payments. Thank you, Resurgent India, ICICI Bank, for bringing me here to talk on this topic of credit risk particularly and how to manage the documents, etc. Just share my presentation and we go from there. Fine, sir.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Handling, follow-up, and recovery of export receivable. Now, the topic says export receivables means when we draw bills on our buyers, then how, in what cases we need to initiate recovery, all things we need to take care. And in one perspective, I would put all this in the credit risk related. So, in a nutshell, we are going to discuss the risk related to exports, within which the credit risk is there. And once that risk is there on the top of that agenda, we need to understand and see that why and how we need to have those documents where we can prove that we are making efforts to recover, we are following up with the buyer, and how that recovery can be ultimately justified with the regulator. May not cover this, but ultimately I have broken down the agenda in 7, 8 parts. So first is risk in international trade. When we talk of risk in international trade,
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही.
yes, sir. When we talk of risk in international trade, we firstly see that right from the identification of the buyer, right from the first thing I will start my risk if I do not do a proper, justifiable verification of the buyer about his genuineness, about his strength, weaknesses, about his standing in the market, about what he has been doing till now, what is his the overall size of business, whether he's been making payment in time or not, whether he is dealing with the banking system, whether he's a credit borrower with the banking system in that market. All these things will have to be seen. So my risk will start once I start the buyer identification, and from there it will culminate into order, then order to shipment related risk, shipment to payment related risk, and even in one of some of the cases we see that once even the payment is made, the buyer comes back to us and says, "Sir, I have made the payment, but your goods are not worth." What to do? That risk continues. So what exactly it is? Business is a risk. I have to manage it. I cannot eliminate. And that is what we have to learn. In one of the sessions, we were discussing about export finance. Now, finance is there, bank is giving us the finance, but ultimately it is our responsibility to recover that finance also. When I am into the business of exports, I have to manage finance, I cannot eliminate. Now, with this, there will be several risks in the international business, right from credit risk, cargo risk, country and political risk. Most important right now. So many wars going on, so many maybe cold wars going on and all that. Then IPR related, documentary risk or the legal risk, and the foreign exchange. So our risk starts. If I don't do business, then there is no issue. But if I do business, then it will start from the point I am identifying a buyer and getting an order. Because even if I don't ship, I am liable to be prosecuted or I am liable to be taken to court for non-execution, non-performance. Risk तो फिर भी है. So with all these risks, I have to live and I have to manage. Now, cargo and shipping risk, we take marine policy, country risk, we'll say the ECC policy. All those things are legal risk. We have to get the documents examination, and foreign exchange risk, we do different forward contracts or maybe options. Now, speaking only on our credit risk. Credit risk is what? My exposure on buyer, my agreement with the buyer that I will sell something. It is not that buyer is buying something to him at a fixed price, fixed rate of shipments, etc. And the other part is my exposure on the buyer by way of shipping the goods before getting the money. And so I need to control this risk and mitigate this in the buyer's market because I am not there. It's a buyer's market. I don't get 100% advance in all our cases. I may get 20-30% advance. Balance is largely on the maybe shipping documents done. And we have just amended our Bill of Lading Act a couple of days back only. Knowingly or unknowingly, when I am putting the name of the buyer in as a consignee in the PL, the goods are handed over, presumed to be handed over to him. Now I say, sir, I will dispatch this BL after getting the money. May not be of much of the use because I have already surrendered my rights to hand over the goods to the buyer. So I need to control this risk by various means and methods. One is the payment terms. Can I get 100% advance? Can I get LC? All those things. Then the shipment terms to the side. The credit terms on the payment side. How will I dispatch the documents, whether through banking system or directly? And our overall exposure on the buyer. If I am relying on a buyer, how much credit limit it will be there? Up to what time I will keep on dispatching the goods on credit? It will come after 90 days. But maybe every month I am doing 2 shipments. In 90 days, it will be 6 shipments. Whether I have agreed to do 50,000 worth of shipment, each shipment up to $3 lakh, I am taking a big exposure on a buyer. So we have to look at that. Now, when I talk of payment terms, I have a couple of options. One is an advance payment, 100% advance payment, more safe. I am dispatching the goods, maybe making the BL in the name of the buyer, consignee as a buyer, if I get 100%. But this is only in 5 to 10% cases. The commodities we deal in from India particularly, there are very less commodities which are rocket science commodities, which I call rocket science commodities, are very specifically made art facets, could be a very specific pharma product, it could be very specific, some tools, crafts, etc. Largely our products are not on the seller's side, it is on the buyer's side. Buyer will dictate the terms. For a garment manufacturer or for a shoe manufacturer from Agra, if I say, sir, I will do shipment only after getting 100% advance, the guy will say, sir, within your own city, there are 90 other people who are selling, giving me on 90 days credit. If from India you are not getting, you say, sir, I'll get your same garments made from Bangladesh or shoes made from some other country, Taiwan. What to do? If I want to remain in the market, I have to follow what market is doing. Then I have to devise a term saying, I am ready to give you a site, but you can take the documents through the banking system by making payment. At least I have the control of the documents through the banking system. So what we call it, documents against payment or cash on delivery, cash against delivery. Now, if it is not site, then what to do? Everybody is giving credit. And normally it is clean credit, sending documents directly, making shipments directly. So I can also devise a method. I am ready to give those 90 days, but I will not send the documents directly. You will have to take the document through the banking system by accepting a draft or will of exchange. So that we call documents against accept. What we have now, I was controlling the bill of lading. I have endorsed the bill of lading in favor of the bank, and now bank will release that bill of entry to the buyer. Bill of lading to the buyer only against acceptance of a bill of exchange. At least I have some document in hand which I can take to court. I have to now monitor the period now. How much extension I can give? Whether the credit period to be allowed here can be restricted to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and not beyond that. I will say, no, sir, I will not sell beyond 90 days. I can control that. Now, shipment terms, how do I ship? Now, bill of lading is only document which is negotiable. Airway bill is non-negotiable. Courier goes directly normally. Postal goes normally directly. So on the bill of lading, if I agree to send the goods through bill of lading, can I make it to order and then endorse as per the requirement of the documents presentation? I will say I will do a shipment to you, make the bill of lading to order, but send you this bill of lading after endorsement only after receive the full payment. Now my mode of shipment can also be one of the tools to control that. How do I send the shipping document? Whether the BL is consigned to the buyer or consigned to order. Now, if it is directly consigned to buyer, then a very recent case in Gujarat where the documents were made to order, but still the goods are not traceable now. The buyer has already taken the goods there. Maybe even if I do a BL made to order, even then frauds are happening. So besides frauds, let us take all precautions that I do not get into that fraud structure. And how do I have the control over shipping documents? If I send the documents to the banking channel, I will have a control. Made to order, sent through bank, maybe agreed for usage period also. But at least I will have the control over the shipping. My bank is not giving the delivery of the BL or endorse the BL in favor of the buyer until and unless he accepts or pays. Documents through bank or document through buyer. Now, all those entities which are all those transactions where we do not get 100% advance payment, or those units which are in SEZ or status holders, or there is a condition in letter of credit. Other than these four, all exporters are required to send the original documents to the banking system. This is as per RBI guidelines. And many of the exporters, maybe because of their normal practices, they will send the documents directly to the buyer. The documents can go to the buyer still, but it should be routed through a bank in India. So one method is that if I am a DTA non-status holder, then the document should be submitted to my bank here in India, say ICICI Bank or SBI or HDFC, asking them to send these documents to buyer's bank abroad. Mashreq Bank Dubai, Emirates Bank Dubai, Midland Bank London, Standard Chartered London. And if I agreed that, okay, I will send the documents directly to you, because of my relationship, 5 years, 7 years have happened. I know that buyer, he has never defaulted earlier in the past. I can do so, but still these documents need to be sent through the banking channel in India. The bank can send directly those documents to the buyer. It's only a question of maybe maximum 1 day. At times, because of procedural issues, the documents get delayed at the bank's end. But I know banks which say that if you give the documents today, even at 2 o'clock, we can give it to the courier company by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. In 3-4 hours, that can be done. Dispatch of goods versus dispatch of documents, RBI guidelines are there. I spoke about that. Goods are in the ownership of the exporter. Is the best judge to decide how do I ship, how do I hand over the goods to the buyer. So maybe you can make the BL directly consigning the goods to the buyer instead of making to order. No issue, because it is your goods. But dispatch of documents are the guidelines. Other than these four, status holder, SEZ, 100% advance and LC condition, all original documents must be routed to the banking. This condition of routing the documents to the banking system is to control your risk, exporter's risk. Exporter has to be aware in the maybe previous era when we had exchange control manuals, those green books and then brown books. There it said banks should advise the customers about the risk involved in consigning the documents and goods directly to the buyer. The exporter has to understand this. If I send the goods and documents directly to the buyer, I do not have any control on it. Everything becomes lopsided now against me. Whether he pays, does not pay, when does he pay, time, full payment, half payment, etc. Payment terms could be advance payment, open account, collection through bank, or LC. Advance payment is 100% safe, full advance, 100%. But this can rarely happen, or it will not happen regularly in normal commodities. The next best is our letter of credit. Now here also, in certain geographies of the world, opening of letter of credit is more difficult. The banking is not that developed. Even if it is there, it is a cost to the buyer. Buyer may not agree for that. If he agrees, then I do not agree for the bank from which the LC is opened. And then the documents to the banking system. This is more acceptable to both the sides. And then open account comes when I have a longer relationship. It is built on a trust. And a trust which was built for 15, 17, 20 years of business also can get crashed anytime. It can crush down. I have to choose the payment terms very wisely, thinking that I do business and I am not in a dire need to do business. So balancing with both buyer and the seller. Ultimately, the buyer is also wanting to have the goods. No, he is also doing a business. How much should I sell on credit to a buyer? How much exposure should I do? The first order which which an exporter got from a buyer was of a $2 million rice. And the exporter agreed 1.7, 1.98 or 1.97 million. I have a big order, sir, 1.97. Such orders will come to only those HNIs or big traders who will just go and try to complete the order without going into much detail about the buyer. So what we need to know, even for a $10,000 export bill, maybe do not talk about 1.9 or $2 million, but even for a $10,000, $5,000 bill, I must know my customer. The bank knows, no, when they give you credit, what do they do? This much of documents, everything, civil, your past track record, what you have been doing, right from your studies, after you completed your studies, from that time, if maybe you are somebody is 44 now, what he has been doing all these years. पहले कितने business थे, कितने नहीं थे. So the age of the business of the buyer, the overall size, what is the overall net worth, which country he is in, which all banks he is dealing in, all those things, and various details from the regulatory filings. Somebody says, sir, I am an INC in USA, or somebody says, sir, I am a large company in UAE. We can find out this information from the public domain. Maybe it may cost us, but large information is available there. I must do my KYC on the buyer, not just on the basis of the order or a letterhead or his website. Now people say, sir, website hai to it should be a good company. Website kya hai? You turn back and create a website. Again, you turn back and create another website. Whether that company is registered or not, even that website cannot verify or validate. Exposure should be based on my new relationship or a matured relationship. So if I am a new exporter, or if I am an exporter to if I get an order from a new buyer, I will have to restrict myself. Don't jump upon that $2 million order. I will have to see. We will do one container each first time. Let us see, I will not do $2 million. Let it go $1 lakh, $50,000, etc. And when the relationship matures over the period, 10, 20 transactions, then I think it's a matured relationship. Then you can decide how much big. And by that time, you will come to know about each and everything about the buyer. Payment terms, DP or DA, site or usance, and usance through bank that you need to control. Tenor of the usance period. First request by the buyer says 180 days. Everybody is giving. Something which is a cash crop, how somebody is selling it 180 days? No. Something which is a cash crop, nobody sells at 180 days. Everybody sells on site, and this fellow is asking 180 days. Or everybody is selling on 30, 60 days credit. Why does he want 180 days? Because even if for rice is going to be sold in UAE or any other country like anything, cash crop. So tenor can also control it. Don't give extra tenor. Be within your limits, within the overall frame. And then even after all this, even if the relationship is mature, the documents are going on DA, the usance period is 90 days, I know ins and outs about the buyer, I can always go for a credit insurance from the organizations like ECGC. I understand some other private insurance companies are also offering this. Now, credit insurance means when I go for an insurance with a name ABC Dubai, this insurance company will tell me what, how much, everything about the buyer, including the credit report. And then they will say this buyer is worth $1 lakh exposure. Documents can be drawn on DA, must be sent through banking system, not directly, and the tenor should not be more than 90. Now I know what is the worth. I need not go for any other documentation because somebody is giving me an insurance. And what does it cost? 75 basis points or 1.4 basis points or 1.6 basis, not beyond. Instead of earning 10% and losing everything, I may, if I am safe with 8% by paying 2% to credit insurance, it is better. Now, how do I manage credit risk and take credit insurance? So, credit insurance ECGC is there, which gives policies. Insurance ECGC is now under IRDA, so it gives insurance policies both to exporters and banks which are financing. And the main aim of the government of India bring in or maybe nurture ECGC, and then every couple of years, crores of rupees of capital is being infused in that for furthering the growth of exports. If a genuine exporter is stuck somewhere because of some wrongdoing or mishap during the transaction, he must get the payment, maybe up to 75% or up to 90%. They also have policies relating to deferred payment projects, exports, service exports, etc. Now, this export credit insurance for banks can take the policies and their entire turnover of export finance is covered there. Whereas the the exporters, they have specific policies. Now, these standard policies, if there are no deviations, will give a cover up to 90% on turnover based and covering the commercial and political risk. So, an exporter who has got a turnover of 50 crores, or he is projecting a turnover of 50 crores in 25-26, he can take a policy for 50 crores in one go. And every time there is a new order, he can approach the ECGC to maybe extend that cover there, get the credit report from there, and get the feedback about the buyer from entire cover, entire turnover. When entire turnover is covered, your premium is lower. When you cover specifically, then your premium is slightly higher. But such policies will exclude the dispute with the buyer not having import licenses, the insolvency of bank, exchange differences, and the general insurance. Exporters also get to have exposure-wise policy on single buyer, exposure-wise policy on multiple buyers, consignment policy, specific container. Now the same buyers give me order for 4 containers. Then what to do? I can always say that beyond $25,000, if single shipment is there, I will go and take a policy. If I enter into a country which I am feeling risky, then I will take a policy. So I will skip this. And one more point. When I am taking a policy or when my bank is taking a policy, I need to understand and I need to go through those conditions there, terms and conditions. And one of the conditions which is mentioned here is that if the dispatch of documents is done directly, other than those four we talked, then your claim is at stake. It will not come. We need to go through various processes to get the documents regularized first, maybe by involving RBI approval, etc. And then only. But people are taking report the default in 30 days and lodging a claim in 90 days also. And I have seen a case where a buyer, an exporter has got a policy where he says for a particular buyer, your exposure limit is 1 lakh. And he has sent 3 shipments of 1 lakh. 3 लाख का इंश्योरेंस कैसे मिलेगा उसको? 1 लाख का तो लिमिट है वहां एक बायर के ऊपर. It is not done. Now ECGC also publishes country risk ratings. Now this I can take as a guide to monitor my credit risk also. Insignificant risk USA, Singapore, Spain, Australia. Low risk is UAE, Thailand, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, Uruguay. Uruguay was earlier in the bottom B2, it has now come to A2. Moderately low is Panama, Taiwan, Namibia, Peru, Bhutan. Moderate is Jordan, Barbados, Greece, Fiji, Bolivia, and Turkey. Fiji was earlier in B1, it has come down to B2. Bolivia and Turkey were earlier in C1, they have come up in B2. So with every event globally, whatever is happening, ECC reviews these lists and by way of other circulars, and every quarter these lists are updated. So even now, you can go to ECGC's website and have these lists there. Now, how can I manage through this chart? I will say I am not going in for a whole turnover policy, but if I export goods to countries which are in C1, C2, and D, I will take a policy cover in 100% cases. If I get an order from B1 and B2, I will definitely take a credit report from the ECGC even by paying some cost to it, or maybe we have got Dun& Bradstreet, Mira Inform, etc. All other companies are. I can use such charts, country risk rating charts, to control my risk in my own business. Now, why and how does our shipments get tracked? What we talked about till now is all about controlling the risk in my business. Ultimately, it is my money. But how does this get tracked? I'll have to see. When we make shipment through seaports, international airports, land boundaries, inland container depots, courier terminals, or even SEZ, FTWZ exports, DTA to SEZ also. These all are getting tracked now. Why they are getting tracked? They are getting tracked because I am ultimately sending some goods out of the country where I need to bring in the money. So we have got two softwares of customs. One is IceGate and another is ECCS. ECCS is for courier, rest all is under IceGate. From where the data is captured by the customs when they clear those goods, either from airport or land port or any ICDA. And foreign post office is where still customs software is not there. So their internal software is there, but it is not a part of ICGate now. How many? 28 post offices where customs is sitting. They have an office there, and extended Dak Niryat Kendras, almost 1100 plus now. This number would be old of last year. More than 1200 Dak Niryat. Why does this get tracked? When I am doing an export as an exporter, I declare on a shipping bill. There is a declaration which says, I we undertake to abide by the provisions of Foreign Exchange Management Act as amended from time to time, including realization and repatriation of foreign exchange. Why so? Because each export needs to be paid by from abroad. Why it needs to be paid from abroad and that payment is to be brought to India? Because whatever we are exporting is the wealth of the country. Whatever I am having in my shop, maybe steel, chemical, garments, etc., is my wealth. But what is my wealth? My wealth is the wealth of the country. So in that case, I need to get the bill realized and repatriate also. Repatriate is bringing the money. Now, because of this declaration and the requirement to get it paid, the shipping bills are getting tracked. The payments are getting tracked. How does it do? The shipments are tracked by way of the shipping bill getting generated by the customs at seaports, airports, land terminals, etc. And they are getting uploaded in a software of RBI, which is EDPMS. And from there, this data moves to specific banks, our AD banks, because of that AD code usage. Now, this becomes the child or baby for the bank control. They are in the shoes of Reserve Bank of India to monitor the shipping bills, whether the payments have been received or not, and if payment is not received, they are whether properly closed off. On the other hand, when we get the payment which is pertaining to exports, the bank is required to create an inward remittance memorandum. So this is also tracked whether when you receive the payment, whether you have made the shipment or not. And closure of IRM and closure of shipping bill in the system, EDPMS is required. Why? Earlier, because we were required to get an EBRC generated from EDPMS, but even now, when the BRC is generated from DGFT system, closure of this bill and payment in EDPMS is required for the purpose of RBI. So we have two processes now. One is closure of shipping bill in EDPMS by giving documents to the bank, and another of generating BRC. One closes the books of RBI, matches the figures, and another closes the books of Government of India. If you have taken goods worth $10,000 out of the country, you have brought in $10,000 or $9,980 or $9,950, whatever it is. But the shipping bill is closed for that matter. So both the books and both the regulators are different. And here I want to make a point that even if you are able to generate a BRC from the DGFT system, submission of bill to the bank is mandated. This is how the control happens. The customs pushing the shipping bill in the system. Now the shipping bill becomes the baby of the AD bank. AD bank is pushing the inward remittance in the system. And from 1st March 2014, this is an implement. Now, this will control everything for shipping bill and payment related. But two, three things to be taken care of. One is caution listing and one is DOE report. Shipping bills become overdue after 9 months. Payments become overdue after 12 months. So this will also control the overdue numbers. And if the shipping bills are overdue for more than 2 years from the date of shipment, then banks can refer this to RBI for caution listing. And caution listing means that you will be able to do further exports only when you are able to get the 100% advance. And we talk only in 5% cases you get advance, otherwise not. And another is reporting to Enforcement Directorate, DOE reporting. Banks have been doing this. So we have to guard, as an exporter, we have to guard against these two red dots. So shipping bill is there. Now I have to receive the payment. I have made an export. I have given an undertaking to the government. I have to receive. Now, how can I receive the payment? Through various modes. Nostro account, a dollar account of the bank abroad. Case Manhattan Bank, dollar correspondent of ICICI Bank or some a few other banks. Then Vostro account, foreign banks rupee account here in India. NRE account. NRE is what? Non-resident Indians rupee account here which is convertible. Credit card, debit card. Foreign currency notes. Exchange house. maybe Middle East, when you do export, money, lot of money comes through exchange houses. There's a limit of 15 lakhs. ACU dollar account, if I'm exporting to Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Iran, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan in rupee only, no foreign exchange involved. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Myanmar now, even rupee payments are accepted through SRV account. SNRR account, special non-resident rupee account of foreign entities. Iran, special arrangement through UCO Bank. OPGSP, PayPal, Payoneer, etc. All our e-commerce related payments, 25 lakhs per transaction. Escrow account, Romania. Line of credit from Exim Bank, SBI, Gift City, etc. And our special rupee Vostro account through which we can get the payment. Now, as of the current information, we have got 23 countries, maybe 95 plus accounts. Bangladesh, Belarus, Botswana, Fiji, Germany, Guyana, Israel, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Malaysia, Maldives, Mauritius, Myanmar, New Zealand, Oman, Russia, Seychelles, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Uganda, UK, and Australia. And I know that even ICICI Bank has an account of a Bank of Bangladesh here in India. I think Eastern Bank also. So several banks, from banks in because this all started when we were importing huge quantities of crude from Russia. So maybe even Russian banks, we have got maybe 10, 12 banks which have opened account here, more than 10. Two Russian banks are already here in India. I think UCO has got, Union has got, all couple of banks have got. And creation of IRM. If I have received the money in rupee or if I received it in dollars, the IRM has to be created in the system, that is EDPMS, with appropriate purpose code. So when you get dollars and when you give a mandate for those dollars, say this is advance against exports or this is against bill, then IRM will automatically calculate it. But when you receive in rupee, it does not get automatically captured. You get an RTGS for your payment for an export in Nepal, or you get a payment through PayPal, Payoneer, or a Vostro account. Then what happens? Bank does not come to know. That money comes to your account and bank does not. So I'll have to tell the bank, this is the credit of say 7,80,000 rupees against my exports. This is the shipping bill. Please create an IRM and close it. So creation of an IRM is the responsibility of the bank, where I am maintaining the account and where the money has flown in through NEFT, RTGS, or even demand draft in case of Nepal. Now the bigger problem, we have talked how the shipping bill gets tracked, how the IRM is created, and why do we need to close it? Because we have given that undertaking, wealth of the country exit. When bill is not paid or partly paid, what do I do? The requirements. There are timelines given. As a general permission, RBI has given 9 months to each and every exporter to realize the bill. Whether it is drawn in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you can get it extended, or the buyer, you may allow the buyer to extend the payment period to 9 months. Beyond that, you have to go and report. If your goods are going to your own warehouse abroad, largely in case of OEM manufacturers of automobile parts or machinery parts, etc., there 15 months are allowed. Now, if your payment is not there in 9 months, then you have to get extension each time from your AD bank, 6 months at a time. Every 6 months I have to go, 9 months to 15, 15 to 21, 21 to 27. And I have to give them a proof. What I have said, I will abide by the rules and law of FEMA and make endeavor to realize and repatriate the product. So I'll have to explain to them what endeavor or what efforts have been made by way of documents. Beyond 2 years, you are going to go into caution listing. So don't fail to extend. Get it extended with proper communication, explanation to the bank, etc. If you fail to do it, and if it is 2 years, then we maybe bank may decide against us and report it for caution. And lastly, one more point is there that if you have received advance payment, you must make shipment within 12 months. It is possible to get the bill regularized beyond 12 months also, but otherwise, shipment should be made in 12. Now, what are the commodities where we get payment before 12 months? Very rarely. Somebody making some spacecraft, ship, or maybe very, what you call gasifiers for plants, etc. chemical plants, thermal plants, power, Larsen Tobro, BHEL, all these big wigs are there. They may get, because they are creating something very specific for somebody. But for normal commodities, why billions of dollars or trillions of dollars is lying in EDPMS advance? And people are not doing shipment or not making those things. It may be possible that shipment has been done, but the payment is also pending. It has not been matched. One with one AD bank, another with another bank. Now, this 9 months extension, 6 months at a time, the case should not be under investigation by DOE or CBI or any other regulatory authority. And I have to produce the supporting documents every time. But there is a limit. It should not exceed, the outstanding should not exceed $1 million or 10% of the average. So if this 2 million guy, if I was talking, very first export shipment, when he comes for extension, it will not get extended because he does not have a past track record. For getting a 10 million, $1 million bill extended, I need an average realization of $10 million in previous 3 years. $10 million, I need average realization in past 3 years to get $1 million extension. Otherwise, it will not be. And if it is a legal case, I have already filed a legal suit, then this limit will not apply. But still, I have to submit the documents every 6 months, what is happening in the case, what the lawyer says, what the summons have been issued, all those story with the support. So one is 9 months. Now, another is that, so this is all to be supported by documents. Bank's satisfaction about it. And there is no timeline for extension. Some people say, sir, our bank said we will not extend beyond 15 months or 21 months. No, it is not like that. You can extend for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, subject to you are able to satisfy your AD bank about the correspondence and what is happening about that follow. The next is that what if I do not get full payment? Some part payment is there. Maybe invoice does not get paid in full because of various quality issues, packing issues, delays, rebates, etc. The market has just turned against me and I need to give a rebate to sell that in the market. So up to 25% of each invoice I can have. Very simple process for me. But still I need a correspondence. I had sent an export for say $1 lakh and buyer says I'll pay 75,000. Whether the exporter will agree in the first go? No. There has to be correspondence, some haggling, some negotiation. And here certain conditions are there that if I am allowing discount maybe up to 20%, 10%, whatever it is, then the value, if it is a floor price restriction is there on the commodity, it should not go below floor. And what does this mean? I willfully agreed to treat my invoice of $1 lakh as $90,000. So actual exports are $90,000. So I must refund to the government proportionate incentive for that 10,000. Now, this requirement must also have supporting documents. If I have been able to realize, say, $80,000 or $90,000 against $1 lakh, I must prove to the bank where this $10,000, $20,000 have gone, and under what conditions, and what are the documents. So maybe if somebody says reasons for quality issues, the bank may ask a quality certificate. And even we have given pictures, photographs of the packaging damage during the transit to support our view to give a 10% discount for a $1 million bill. The buyer, you can ask the buyer, send me photographs if the goods are damaged. I will require it for my own purposes. Maybe I require this for insurance claim also, but I must have those proofs. Now, if you do not get the payment despite all your efforts, then there is a write-off provision. These are facilities by RBI. You are doing business, sometimes something may go wrong. Your choice of buyer may go wrong. Buyer may be in dire financial problem, or he could have it destroyed his own buyers in turn. So whatever you have realized in the previous calendar year, of that 5% or 10% you can write off in this calendar. What does it say? A DTA holder, DTA unit bond status holder, if in 2023 he had an export relation of $1 million, in 2024 he can do a self write-off of $50,000, 5%. Any number of bills which are getting fully closed, If it is a status holder or SEZ unit, then 10% up to 1 lakh. Any number of bills more than 1 year old, because 1 year is the minimum period. Beyond that, additional 10% can be done by the banks, provided they are satisfied about the reasons, documentary support, etc. Some of the conditions, bills should be realized, they should remain unrealized for more than a year. Exporter should make all efforts. The case should not be under the investigation of CBI DR. Again, we will require all the documents. The reasons could be buyer insolvent, goods auction, balance settled through embassy. Now, only these conditions are allowed if it is a direct dispatch, otherwise other conditions can also be considered. My last segment, write off करने के पहले recovery efforts कैसे करना? How do you do the recovery efforts? It is your money. Write-off in EDPMS, write-off in the bank is only a technical write-off for informing the government that I have made all efforts, but I am unable to get the money. But ultimately, it is my money. Out of $1 lakh, will it be easy for me to write off $25,000 or $50,000 like that? ये तो हर साल होगा. When I do that, I must do robust recovery efforts. Follow up correspondence through mails and letters. Our WhatsApp chat or telephone chat will not be used or cannot be used as a proof either with the bank nor in the court of. And even if you are calling him today morning, then maybe 10 o'clock, if you have called, then see that by 12 or 11, your one mail goes. As per today's telephonic call, you have assured that you are going to make the payment in 30 days. Every week you send a mail, and then at least on the fourth mail, you push him to get reply. Yes, bhai, Baba, I will pay in 30 days from today. Well, 60 days mein aa jayega. No problem. But push him to get the reply. Ask him, this is required by my banker. Otherwise, in future, they will not allow me to export to you. I will not a cover. Insurance cover will not be there, because even insurance cover will ask whether you have made the enough efforts to get the money or not. The next is negotiate. In case of disputes and issues, try to resolve. 5-10% के लिए no issues. But if it is malified, then you have to fight it. Take support from peers, other buyers in the country. Take support from other suppliers of the same buyer in our own country. Suppose you are an exporter of plastic items, and you know that your other competitors in the same city or other city are also exporting to the same buyer. Even you can get a support from ECGC, your own bank. Your bank will say, sir, we have got a customer who is also shipping to that buyer. Try to take help from them. You may have another buyer in that country. Try to take help from them. Try to find out about the incidents, why he is not making payment, why is delaying, all those things. Then, embassy or consulate of India in the buyer's country. You can reach out to those missions. Now we have got trade attaches in all the missions and consulates. You can approach them, send a mail. All these details are available on the meaprotocol.nic.in, Ministry of External Affairs. And in the last foreign trade policy, we have said they will act as an extended arm. Now they are also supposed to promote exports from India. Maybe our consulate in Australia or embassy in US, they are also now supposed. So when they are supposed to be extended arm for promotion of trade, then they will also help us in recovery and finding out, giving us the right direction how to recover. So embassy consulate of buyer's country in India. Now buyer's country also would have so what we have? We have our own embassies and consulates in more than 150 countries now. Similarly, more than 100 countries have embassies and consulates here in India. So embassy, consulate, buyer's country. So MEA protocol.mic. So this is where all these countries are having embassies here. You can find out the address, get an email ID, send a mail to them. I had sent a shipment to them. This is the contract, this is the invoice, this is the documents. He has been promising me to pay for last 6 months. He has not paid. Please support. Please inform how to take action against the buyer. Embassy will get into action. They will send it to some chamber there, or their counterparts there, then they will try to find out what is happening. It is the question of the image of the country. Then there is a complaint registration space at DGFT. dgft.gov.in services, quality complaints, dispute, trade dispute, etc. Fill out the online application form. You can attach documents also. Now, beware that this DGFT connection is also to be used by our buyers and our suppliers also, both in case of importers and exporters. Our buyer may raise a complaint that I have paid advance, but the exporter is not exporting to me. Our buyer may raise a complaint that I have sent full payment, but when I have opened the boxes, the quality was not good. So we have to take care that when we want, because what is happening, they will mailing our country's name. It is a question of image. That is why we have now also given an open forum to the world. You can buy from India. Rest assured, if you get cheated, you can raise a complaint to the government. Register complaint with DGFT. All those actionables are here. Here is the link given, and our recovery efforts could be further than beyond that. Our legal notice through a lawyer in India. Need not to go to a lawyer abroad first in the first instance, but legal notice from a lawyer in India. Maybe you are able to shake him out. Then police FIR in India and abroad, both. People say, sir, how do I file FIR? FIR filing is an online process now here also in India. So we handled a case in Hong Kong where we wrote to embassy of Hong Kong. Embassy of Hong Kong came back and said that while we are taking up, you can file an FIR. We said, how to file an FIR? Then they said, okay, we are sending you a link. They gave us a link. You take help. If you don't cry, nobody is going to help. You have to cry out. Then on that link, we find I have to prove that I am making efforts. Money comes or not is subsequent. And in large number of cases, money will come. And lawsuit is the last one. Lawsuit is a costly affair. But I know of an exporter who has filed a lawsuit here in India as well as in USA, both places. It is a big tussle for a big amount. It is possible. You can do it. In your invoice, when you are creating an order, what jurisdiction are you using? If you are saying jurisdiction subject to India jurisdiction or Mumbai court or Delhi court, etc., then that should be a place where you should file a lawsuit and get your buyer here to India, or at least he will have to put a lawyer here in India for that. Last resort, lawsuit, not to be used every time because it is costing. One is cost, another is time. Very, very, very huge time can be taken anywhere. This is civil in India or in buyer's country, both places you can. Now, there are recovery agencies also. You can help. So, if I have taken a policy from ECGC, when I file a notice of default, ECGC will tell me that you can try to use some debt collection agencies there also. So, from the website research, I was able to know that MNS Credit Management Group is there. Then COFES is there, Nirvana is there, CIDAR is there, all those debt collection agencies. Now, the beauty largely that they don't charge anything upfront except for some processing fees here or there. What they will say, if we are able to recover your money, then we will charge you our cost, our maybe commission would be as high as 20% or 25%. Okay. For last 2 years, I have been making efforts, nothing is coming. Let me try and get at least 75% of the money. Last resort. A few points to remember. Most important. Credit risk, follow-up, recovery, my declaration on shipping bill, and maybe proving to government and proving to RBI about closure of bill, everything will require documents, supporting documents, and documents alone. I must be having a big file when I am doing this because based on our requirement, $400 may not require a big file. But what about $4 lakh? Is it not a worth amount? So documents alone. The last resort is write-off of bill. We saw those 5%, 10% last resort. But what does it mean? Does it mean that I am writing off the bill in the EDPMS, or it means something else? Write-off of a bill of $1 million in EDPMS, maybe even if it is agreed by the bank and the supporting documents have been provided and maybe there is no ECC claim, etc., etc., everything is okay. But it will make a dent on my balance sheet. What 8 crore rupees I was showing as a debtor till now, tomorrow I'll have to put it in profit loss account. It will reduce my this year's profit and impact my overall net worth. It is not only a technical, but it is an impact taken on the balance sheet. What is the balance sheet? Profit earned after payment of tax will get impact. So use the write-off very judiciously as a last resort after making all efforts. A couple of more points. Last slide almost. Timely submission, payment within 9 months. If it is delayed, extension to be there. Maintain proper paper records for all follow-up, etc. Whenever you are writing off, keep that in 5%, 10% in mind and use it judiciously within the calendar year. And use approved methods of payment and close the bill in EDPMS and close the government books by drawing the EBRC also. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much. These are my details. I will also post in the chat box. Knowledge is the beginning of it. Don't write off like that. Don't let your money go to somebody without making efforts. Thank you very much. Happy. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Gaurang sir. Excellent. I think you have covered very nicely. First important aspect, what you're talking about, know your buyer. This is the most important things. From the beginning, when you are doing any export, you must know your buyer. And RBI guidelines, you have also explained. Explain the controlling risk, how to control the risk. This is most important aspect. And write-off, you also inform how much percentage you can write off. And recovery efforts, what recovery efforts you should take to recover the ultimately it is a wealth of the nation. So you cannot spoil like that. You must have a recovery. And there is some process is there, either legally or giving some consulate through, you can go ahead with that. I think that action must be initiated. Thank you very much, Gaurang sir. So I will come back to you if any question will be there. Now I am requesting Shri Joshi sir. Joshi sir is the head of SME ICICI Bank. Sir, with your efforts, sir, every month we are doing such webinar and we are also getting a good feedback. So we request you to please give your feedback also to us so that it can encourage my team also, sir. So now I request Sri Joshi sir to please give your thoughts. Mr. Joshi. सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही प्लीज प्लीज सी योर वॉइस सर वॉइस नहीं आ रहा आपका Hear your voice, sir. देखिए लोकेश यार क्या हुआ इनकी वॉइस को. लोकेश, प्लीज सी हिज वॉइस. हेलो. Rajan, request this Lokesh to find out. Sir, your voice is not coming. Gaurang sir, you are there? Mr. Gaurang?
Yes, sir, I am there.
So give a reply at least till we come to some points are there.
Okay, sir. I'll just, we
Then
can
let
take
me
questions.
we take time for that. Let till he
Question answer, I'll take questions first.
this is question is
So Mr. Radesh is asking, please advise, can we take ECGC cover for already exported ones? Sir, you'll have to ask ECGC if the buyer is in already in their database, then they may prefer it. Normally, insurance is to be taken before you make the shipment. You after the shipment, maybe if the buyer is there and they are ready to do it, I'm not sure. As well, please advise for the Russia issues of handling or closing the EDPMS since no banks are handling it. Russia is now under sanction. So if you are getting payment from those banks which are under sanction, then those bills are not getting closed. But if you are getting payment from the banks which are not under sanction, or maybe the payments are being handled by UCO Bank, etc., then you may check with those banks to whom you have received the payment. So maybe we have got Spur Bank or we have got VTB Bank, they have got their branches here in India. You can also talk to UCO Bank, which has got, I think, 7 or 8 accounts of Russian banks. So you have to strictly see that the payment comes through the same channel. Even one of the private sector bank has got a Vostro account. Has got a Nostro account in ruble. So if you are able to get the payment through their channel, they will close your bills. So you'll have to find out. If you want further anything, then you may get in touch with Radesh sir, for older of 22 invoices due to bankers' internal policy. Yes, banks will not close because of the sanctions imposed by European Union or US for on certain banks and the country as a whole. It is not being done. So banks are not closing, but for closing, you can always approach the other banks which are doing it. Can I speak or connect over call? Yes, I will share my details to you, and maybe you can call me. You can maybe drop me a WhatsApp or a mail with your queries. I will drop that. We will do it.
okay, Joshi Sahab, now you are on the lines. Joshi ji, please. Go ahead. I think still your voice is somewhat problem.
जोशी साहब की आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
लोकेश देखिए ना क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है यार उधर.
सर इनके एंड पे प्रॉब्लम है सर, मैंने चेक किया सर.
क्या है तो नाउ वी रिक्वेस्ट अगेन Baswada sir, give
So if
your
there are any more questions, we can take some couple of more questions if they are there. Any more questions? Anybody wants? Please type out your questions on the Q&A box.
any advice you want to give Gaurang sahab till he come back to us.
So normally, sir, to all the exporters, the way we are taking insurance for our car or our health or life or even our house, etc. The business is so important. We are insuring our factories, we are insuring our plants, godowns, etc. Lot of people are not insuring their export receivables.
Mm.
My advice would be go to ECGC, go to some other, even the private insurance companies are also offering this. Get the best one. We also have some of the insurance company now in Gift City, which is being developed. Those will provide you more better and more better pricing also on the insurance side. But that 1.5% cost is worth it to do it.
Okay.
One. Another is that the due diligence on the buyer is more important. I should not rely on the insurance only. Even after insurance, I will get only 75% or 80%. But it's a hell of a job to follow up also. So better to spend more time in getting the finding about the track record of the buyer, the way he has been doing business. Maybe if, in the near about countries, you can always go and visit and find out. And we have seen in last 1.5 years, several of the new exporters getting trapped by the getting first order of $40,000-50,000 is a, just like anything. And they will jump on it and then everything.
Okay.
And even then they don't get ECG cover because the cover was not there. The gentleman asked, can we take a cover subsequently? Any insurance company will not do that.
They will not do it. I agree.
So this is my advice to take care of your own money, and that is what we mean by managing your own risk.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So,
Mr. Joshi, whether you are coming, Joshi sir.
Yes, sir. I have joined, sir. Am I audible now?
Now
Yes,
you are
yes,
audible.
yes.
You are
Yeah.
audible, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead with that.
Finally. Sorry, extremely sorry for this.
No problem, sir. No
inconvenience.
problem. It is a technical
Yeah,
mistake. Please
Change
go
my
ahead.
instrument. Yeah, that's it.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead
good
with
evening, sir. Good evening. So, good evening, friends. I'm Bhavin Joshi from ICICI and would like to run through about our digital proposition for all exporters and importers. So, we would like to inform you about our flagship products. So, if you can, sir, can you please, Mr. Pandi, can you please help me with the presentation?
देखिए इनका presentation यार पांडी साहब. Rajan, put somebody on the job.
Mr. Pandi, Mr. Lokesh, can you help me with my presentation?
Your presentation is on the. I am showing your presentation, sir.
Okay, fine. So, friends, we have come up with a flagship product called Trade Online, which is the product which helps the exporters and importers to have all their trade transactions executed through this portal. It facilitates the customers to have their transactions scheduled. It helps the customers to issue LC as well as have pre-vetting of LCs done. It helps the customers to have their compliances organized. They have timely closures of their compliances. It helps the customers to have pre-vetted capital account transaction facility where our team, our advisors help them for having their transactions pre-vetted for capital account transactions. It helps the customers for having BGs issued through the online application. This also helps for the customers to have the electronic BGs applications being made for around 28 odd PSUs through whom we have been empaneled on this 28 odd PSUs for issuing this electronic BG. This flagship product has helped many of the customers to regularize their export and import bills. Okay. So next slide with respect to the InstaBiz mobile app which our bank has come up with, which helps the customers to have their trade transactions executed. It also helps the customers to have EPCs, PCFCs, PSFCs, and all such disbursement requests also routed through this Trade Online portal. The InstaBiz app also helps the customers to draw up to 250 crore EPC at the press of a button of the request through InstaBiz. We have also come up with a trade online support system where our customer service executives help the customers to have their problems resolved while executing the trade transactions through trade online. It's a real-time support which helps the customers to have their transactions executed seamlessly. The platform has also provided an additional information page which helps the customers to, which is called as Trade Emerge. This Trade Emerge platform helps the customers to know the information about IC code registration, RCMC registration, the various DGFT license registrations, and other information for any startup business to have his export import business started. This platform also helps the customers to access to various portals which have a verified buyers and sellers, whereby the genuine buyers and sellers can be contacted. This portal also has a facility of providing logistic partners information, which the customers can approach the logistic partners and have their entire supply chain management conducted. This portal also has the insurance facility, the insurance information where the general insurance policies can be generated or can be availed the facility thereof. And finally, there is a digital platform where the customers can have all the regulatory updates, the policy updates of FEMA, of DGFT, and Government of India. So this happens to be the very useful tool for all our customers who are into export import business and avail this facility of ours. That's it from my side. Thank you, sir. Thanks for
Thank
giving me
you.
opportunity.
Thank you, Bhavan
Really
sir.
sorry
Thank
for
you, Mr.
not
Joshi.
able to connect.
No, no, no problem, sir. No problem. Thank you, Mr. Joshi. I think ICICI Bank is offering a huge facilities when you are talking about the electronic bank guarantee issuance of the guarantee. And he was also talking the Instra bills where 250 crore EPC can be released over a press of the button. And trade online systems, global uh, trade system, trade account, and digital, more importantly, digital platform, which ICICI Bank has introduced. I think you can avail the facility from the ICICI Bank. So at the end, I think this program, which Gaurang sir had taken very rightly, and ICICI Bank representative Mr. Joshi, has also informed the facility are being extended by the ICICI Bank in respect of the electronic, whether you're talking of the electronic bank guarantee or online of release of the EPC. That is a bomb and digital lending, digital finance, digital platform. What they have introduced by the ICICI Bank, it is for our exporter, it is very beneficial for that. At a Research in India or Association for Financial Advisor of India, we are a member of more than 400 members with us who are expert in the financial services. If you want to join the financial membership, if you are a finance person, you can also join the associations and take the benefit. Every week, mostly we are holding some conferences, and also we are holding the conferences on the platform. So that is a different platform introduced by the Association for the Financial Advisor of India. And a research in India, we are also preparing the DPR, draft project report, and helping the people of the either SME or the exporters to raise the working capital limits or a term loan or any other facility, including fund-based and non-fund-based limits also. So in the end, I'm thankful to my off-the-screen people like Mr. Rajan, who is the director of the Association for Financial Services, and Devasis, Ayush, and Lokesh, and Vishwas, who is off the line and who is the architect of this program. And I'm thankful to the other IT staff who is helping and BD staff who is managing the show. More than 400 stations with us, and people are appreciating the program. I request the participant Please give your feedback, free and fair feedback, any proposal, any topic you want to discuss in our forthcoming program, either of the Resurgent India or Association for the Financial Advisor or from the ICICI Bank, because ICICI Bank, every month we are holding one program where the expert of the ICICI, the ex-banker, Mr. Gaurang, sir is also participating and putting his hard labor to collect all the information present to you. I think we are getting a good feedback. I request all the participants, even some bankers are also there on the platform. So please give us your suggestions. Some consultant was also talking to me just now. They are also telling that this is a good program, which we are housing it. So I'm thankful to, in the end, I'm thankful to Mr. Bhavajan Joshi sir and Mr. Gaurang sir and all the participants. And beside that, my off the screen, my staff members of the associations and also the research in India. Thank you very much. I close the session.
So there is one question in the Q&A, so let us take that.
Please,
Can
please.
we adjust payment received relating to rejected material against a shipping bill with outstanding dues of some other shipping bill? Please talk to your bank, sir, what message you have received, how the bills have been drawn, what is the rejected material, how that shipping bill is going to be closed. You can talk to your bank and get it sorted. No issue with that. That is possible.
Thank you, Gaurang sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I missed that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
to
sir.
give me
Thank you,
clarity.
and look forward to do more such events with ICICI and research. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshi sir. Thank you, Joshi sir.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.